voice in my mind, I slowly drifting by. All the poems I wrote for you, they made me blind, they made me lie. Heard you in the rain, will you always be there? Last thing you said, sorry if it's too late. Heard you in the rain, will you always be there? Last thing you
know what'll happen with OG. It's just grab this because realistically, often enemies don't even know when you're going to be playing, or rather what OG is going to be playing until they actually select those heroes. Yeah, you can check out the statistics beforehand. Liquid is hovering just above 50% wins. OG with a significantly faster average first blood in their games. No surprise, as they often pull off some pre-game shenanigans. You having problems too, Rush?
I just can't see the stats, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, pal. It's a rough one for me right now. You know what? The stats are up,
Dude,
right?
you guys lost one iPad. I gave you mine, and you don't see it.
Yeah, OG are just absolutely formidable right now. Just so much aggression from that KDA, banging, mate, and then smokes. Don't care about that. Not even care.
We're not playing Counter-Strike, and I'm not
exactly.
I think that this game will most likely be decided by the mid-game, assuming we can survive the laning phase. We can see in a lot of the CIS games, one moment. You did it like, you doing me like that again?
Doing you dirty, buddy.
Production always lies to me. A couple times they say snap for the draft, I do it, and then they make me look silly. But anyway.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. Well, we'll get them next time. It's fine. We see in CIS a lot of these games are determined by the way the lanes play out. I think that in these upper echelon European games, it comes down to more of the mid-game team fights. What are you guys expecting?
Well, to me, first, when we started the tournament, they looked like a team that actually didn't know what to do inside of the mid-game. But was it yesterday against Secret? They actually showed some improvements on that part. So, to be honest, I'm expecting to see quite a close series here. Maybe even going to the whole 3 games.
Oh yeah, ever since that patch, series have been going pretty long. I think honestly though, the way that Liquid drafts, they're a little bit like not obvious, but they're not too outside the box. You know, they're going to have their Mars, Axe Phoenix. They're very much a combo-based team, and I think when you get to like the OGs, that's when they can pick them apart. I think against the Secret series, and you look at Game 3, they were able to pick a Morphling into a Gyro, so it was one of those like, oh wait, nice, this is really good for us. So I think their draft in that scenario is just so game-winning that, yeah, they rely heavily on getting that gotcha pick, which I don't think they're going to be able to get in this game.
Okay.
Are you just like test running this now?
I have no idea. But you know what? For games 2 and 3, we're going to be on point.
That could be your play. Like if you don't like what people are saying, just turn off the draft, and then it's like, oh wait, then we'll
you want that back? You better start saying nice things.
Exactly. We love you, Kyle. Please turn the draft back on.
Notably, none of the creep heroes are banned. So, what do you guys think? Chen, Ench, Furion, will they phase?
Well, they're not banned. Is OG gonna pick Chen or an Enchantress? Most likely. So that's something we can see from them. From Liquid, is Oracle in the pool? No, it's not. And I have no idea what they want to go for. I guess an Ember is a good opening, but they go for the Grimstroke.
Yeah, casual Insania Grimstroke. I've seen the pattern in their drafts and how they've changed is they're always making sure that their support's picking first. At the start of this tournament, they would always jump to the Ember and these heroes, but now they're like, wait, just go back to the bread and butter. If we have Oracle, go Oracle.
Yeah.
Grim. Like, don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, it feels like the core hero pool has certainly expanded. In fact, you know, now that we're just seeing more heroes added that seem to be equal in power level to the ones that we've noticed for quite some time. The Tiny is a perfect example, but I don't really think you can replicate Grimstroke, especially the Soulbind against all these spirit pickups.
Yeah, but I also think as well, when you look at like Liquid as a team, they don't really have that flexibility in a draft that OG, for example, has. Like OG could easily go for a Pango or the Ember, or maybe with the 33 the Chen, for example. Like these heroes that they can put in anywhere. Liquid, this is what I think their downfall. When I said at the start of their draft, it's like they've never really kind of go, oh cool, we got you with this guy's going here and there. It's always, they always go for their combos, and they always go for just a solid draft, ending it off with like maybe that quirk of a hero, be it a lone druid or a good Storm game, but not really Storm nowadays, but you get the gist.
That doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but I guess it is an advantage for OG, since they are definitely more flexible when it comes to the lanes, when it comes to the heroes they can play. And AA,
Nice.
they played it all 3 games that we watched them. At least 2 they did.
Yeah, so against Alliance they had it twice, and then they didn't play it when they were against Secret.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like this because DP's still in the pool, right? So you pick up the A on second pick, and you're like, if you want to go TP, sure, but we have a hard counter. We're going to force it into a support role. You've already picked Grim.
Yep.
Can you really run that as a support duo?
OG really love abusing irreparable mechanics, specifically if you remember their victory at TI8, like the stacking damage reduction. There's no real counterplay to this. The same way, if you AA blast someone, it just removes this whole heal tank sustain meta from the pool of options for Liquid, because you know, obviously you cannot heal, and there's nothing that can do what AA can do. OG, of course, have yet to claim their first series victory. I believe they've lost 2-1 in both of their series, however. So not as if they're looking weak necessarily, but, you know, stand-ins, high ping, we shouldn't expect them to necessarily be on their TI form. Weaver, the selection, good against the AA. Not always a huge fan of it against the Ember. What do you think, Harry Freak?
To be honest, I like it. The reason maybe because it doesn't feel as strong is because we haven't seen Mike playing it. I think it has mostly been on the offlane. Tigav, you have the stats, if you can pull that up. It's actually one of those heroes you talked about, the AA. Weaver doesn't care about it. If you go Ags Weaver, the ulti actually doesn't matter. You can heal someone up, so I guess that's fine. I really wouldn't want to see it laying with this Grimstroke. Yeah, Shukuchi and Dinkswell, they kind of can work, but I'd really like to see a stun or something that like can survive laning with the Grimstroke. So in that regard, I don't see like the synergy between these 2 heroes right now.
I think in terms of just for the draft so far, they haven't actually played Weaver in the WePlay Pushka.
Not at all?
No, not at all. They haven't played a single game of Weaver. So right now you have to ask yourself the question, do they play it support? Will they flex it maybe into off lane? And if for some reason it becomes a good carry game, they can do it there. So I think right now it's just an open pick, and we've seen time and time again how Weaver, you get that Aghanim, if it's a support, you can go Vessel Ags, straight Ags, like it makes teamfights so easy. And I think when you look at OG and how they play, if you have that hard reset, you can maybe punish the overextensions that OG might be able to fall into.
Yep, and 4th pick Rubik coming, or 3rd pick Rubik coming out for their 4 position. Saksa, likely, who was a bit bummed, went viral earlier, claiming, you know, finally get to join OG, and TI is postponed. Quite unfortunate when you join the 2-time champs.
So what's that? So if TI is postponed to the end of this year or next year, is it then just going to be just 1 year voided,
They
or are they
said
going to double up next
it will
year?
most likely be next year.
Okay.
So we will not have.
We'll just update. We'll just extend the season, much like the NBA's got to do. You know, we've had 2 majors already. We'll wait like 6 to 8 months, maybe a little less, and we'll get things underway.
Nice.
Again, I'm just guessing and talking out of my ass, which I am much better at than making sense. So, Ask. We haven't seen anybody play this outside of the Secret Enigma or not series, but these 2 teams love it. I'm surprised it's taken this long to be selected, but you got to consider these 2 supports on the side of OG. Liquid, I imagine, you'll look to hunt them.
I think it boils down to the desire to fight, and also the fact that now, if you do put the Weaver in the offlane role, you have a nice combo with the Tusk, the Germinate on the tag team. laning presence, and if the A ever oversteps his mark, pretty much going to be a free kill. So I like the fact that Liquid, they're not going to go for this squishier, longer to play game. For example, if they went for like this Axe or Mars combo that they have, it's good, but it's open to being ran at, right? So they're making sure that they can match the playstyle that is OG.
I think that OG will go for an illusion hero this game, like or a troll. Okay, they get the Underlord. I'm not the biggest fan because Tusk is one of those heroes that can run you down in lane.
I think this is honestly a really nice pick because it covers you from like a potential PA, for example. You have Grimstroke PA, that could be a really strong lane. Ember, AA, and Rubik, sorry, all hate getting jumped by a Deso PA, so I think...
I mean, it
really
covers you
it.
from all the squishy like agi carries you could select, right? PA, Riki, even illusion cores aren't that great against Underlord. Plus, always love the synergy with both Rubik and AA because these squishy heroes, we've talked about it, they're susceptible to being jumped on and exposed. You put this, like, arguably the hero in Dota that is the fattest in front of you, plus the spell lamp from AAW actually makes the Rain of Fire do quite some damage as it is max HP based.
It also puts Tusk in a weird position because naturally you want to move from lane to lane, try and maybe abuse the TP to get into a rotation. You now can pretty much void this lane unless they pick a very aggressive carry that can maybe punish this, but it's so hard to punish this lane. I think you could maybe think of a gyrocopter, but again, that's very much a pre-level 3 kind of moment where it's, yeah, exactly. I can see your face, they can see your face. It's still not great.
Wait, you don't think a Grimstroke Tusk +1 can shut down the Underlord?
Pre-level, yeah, that's why I said about the pre-level 3. Pre-level 3, they're very susceptible to being punished, but after that, I think it opens up the lane to be pretty too easy, right?
Plus, it's going to be a boots first Rubik, I imagine. You know, if you really want to try lane, and part of why I don't think we see try lanes, you just pull the creep wave.
And also then the Weaver, if he is off lane, the Weaver doesn't really get a game potentially, so I think if they do try lane, it's cute, but you're shutting down an Underlord whose game is going to always be the same. He doesn't really care too much. He's that big boy who walks in front.
Apart from a Timber, is there something that can actually lane 1 versus 1 against the Underlord and we see maybe a potentially aggressive lane from Liquid? Not really.
Maybe, but then you're opting to put the Weaver inside your aggressive lane, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they pick up the Monkey.
And more aggression, good synergy with the Grimstroke. And it's a Liquid special, still open, could be Mickey, could be Koifa, never know.
So I think
Boxy play it.
I just like the way that Liquid have, I think, adapted their to this series. Like you can see from all their previous series they played, they've always had like a stubbornness for the Liquid style. And I know these are obviously still Liquid heroes, but it's like the way in which the order in which they picked them, it's like, nice, you're actually trying to match up against your opponent, not just sticking to your own kind of philosophy. So I think some teams can fall into that trap, and then that's when they get picked apart by, again, for example, the teams like OG.
To me, Liquid, this looks like an awesome OD game for Liquid, right? If they want to last pick it, if OG wouldn't have anything against it, I think this is an awesome OD game.
It is, but you don't have
a lot of
last
single
pick.
target, a lot of no real tower push, and as you're about to say, like, whenever I don't have overall last pick, I'd feel a little hesitant about grabbing OD. Always a possibility, but I just don't know if it's necessarily their style. I'd like to see them grab something that just deals tower damage. I mean, Lone Druid is still in the pool, but it's really not the greatest thus far.
I mean, you have percentage-based damage from the Underlord, you have an Ember, and then an AA. I think that the Lone Druid just dies every time.
It could, but I still think it might, just for the idea of playing your game, right? It just gives you the access to taking towers, right? Like, I think that's what they need, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just pick it, not caring about what's present. For OG, they do like a little bit of, outside of the AA ult, they do like a bit of damage right now, right? Like, Ember, he pokes you. Underlord Rubik, they're alright, but like there's not a lot of like, you walk up high ground, you're instantly dead.
I mean, Queen of Pain looks good. Queen of Pain looks good. Because I don't think that you want a hero that can be ganked by the Tusk in the mid lane. So Queen of Pain looks pretty solid to me, looking at as they have this Underlord.
Well, Liquid's gonna have next pick. Do you feel like, because especially after the previous series, we saw multiple times lanes just got exposed. Team wins 3, team wins game. And right now, Monkey King feels like it has the dream, regardless of where he goes. Whether it's Ember or Underlord, it's a pretty free matchup.
It is, but it depends on what pick. So, whatever this last pick for Liquid is, you can maybe ruin your Monkey's game because you force him into the wrong lane. OG have ultimate last pick, then you just put the Ember carry. you just put, let's say you can run the aggressive, put Underlord. Like there's so many ways in which OG can punish the Monkey King, even though it looks like a Monkey King right now. So I think for Liquid though, they need to decide how they're going to lane this. Are they just going to assume it's the Ember mid, put the Monkey mid, and then pick up a carry, or are they going to actually decide, okay, we need a win condition right now, because as much as we can maybe match the fight, we need the way of actually ending the game.
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, it's still flexible for them. This can be a carry weaver, and I mean, Kyle mentioned that they have a lot of single target, but I wouldn't mind like seeing a Slardar as well. Then the Ember is gonna have a bad lane wherever he goes. So there you would have a position 1 weaver, and then you just snowball off of that. That I could see that being a possibility. Also, a way to actually burn through this really tanky Underlord.
Is DK banned? They could just go for like a casual.
It's tough though. This is one of the reasons this AA team's so strong. I think that's the perfect finisher, because this is once again miserable for these 2 OG supports to play against, and you can't go for your traditional.
It gives them a way to take towers, objectives. That's the main thing, right? It unlocks Roshan for their draft. Of course, you then now have Swarm on the Weaver plus the Beastmaster. You're going to have a way to actually move from a fight into an objective, which I think is the key thing when playing up against.
Not the greatest matchup against Underlord or Ember though. Specifically Underlord. If you end up even with him, if you go for Underlord and don't kill him, you're in trouble. Especially when you consider the pit just pretty much counteracts all the aggression. They go for a dazzle. That's got to be a core.
Yep.
Yeah. And
it's going to be
a mid.
A mid dazzle.
Mid, maybe, yeah.
Or a carry dazzle.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because they just saw it's Monkey mid. And Dazzle versus MK is actually a pretty sick Dazzle favored matchup. MK super low armor, you just spam Q, right click him. I've seen it go Monkey King's way, but I think that was due to misplays. What do you guys feel about this? This is the first Dazzle we've seen in a while.
I mean, maybe you've seen it like earlier. You remember when Mischief would actually dodge spells. So Monkey was considered a counter to the Queen of Pain, to the Dazzle, to the heroes like this. But nowadays, when you can't dodge it, I don't really see it going Monkey King's way unless we see a Tusk rotation, right? If Monkey King starts winning this lane, then it's gonna be really bad for the Dazzle. So I think it goes Dazzle's way, but I can see Liquid, with the rotation of their supports, actually winning the mid lane.
My fear is OG, they've got they're perfect style, right? They play an okay strong lane, they can climb the map. The issue is, if the game stagnates a bit, how do they actually eventually like lock down this Weaver? You're relying on pretty much the root of Ember, the root of Underlord. Outside of that, don't really do anything. Monkey King with BKB, don't really do anything. So I think Liquid, they're the ones who put OG on a timer, but we've seen time and time again, OG doesn't really care about timings because they just own the map.
All right, so real quick, make a stand. Harry Freak, who's taking?
I'm gonna go for OG.
OG?
Yeah.
Go with Liquid.
I'm also probably going to lean Liquid, but I'm curious to get some other opinions on this game. We're going to be joined by our casters, Odie, Pixel, and Fogged. How you doing, lads?
Hey, not too bad, Carl. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I miss you. I hope you guys are having fun, staying safe.
We are staying safe, indeed.
Well, I can see you having fun. Looks like you guys are having a lot of fun on the panel, so, you know, keep up the great work, you guys. Yeah, Fogged, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been rainy. The weather's been weird. This week is supposed to finally start getting hot in New York. You know, everything starting to pick up. Maybe we can actually go outside soon. We'll see. Probably not.
Gotta stay careful, of course. But talking about things that are hot, looking at these 2 drafts, Fog. Or what are you liking today here from between Liquid and OG? Because we're getting some fun stuff. He is going to take that Weaver, I would imagine, to that mid lane to make sure the Monkey King doesn't have to go against that Dazzle in that terrible matchup.
Yeah, I think that would have been a really abysmal matchup. I think it's actually pretty fortunate too, because they do have now Monkey King versus Underlord too, which used to be a way to kind of deal with him. I think they had a good option when they had their pick set up that they could move their lanes around a little bit. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good choice. I don't think I've ever seen Weaver versus Dazzle mid. I think Weaver's should be pretty okay as long as he doesn't get like heal bombed inside of a creep wave. He has good rune control too, so we'll probably have to see OG making early moves onto the runes, because that Weaver is likely to get a bottle early on, because he can just guarantee get those. And I think I did kind of like this Beastmaster last pick. It gives them tower push and objective taking, like the panel was mentioning that it was lacking a little bit, and now they have Grimstroke synergy.
Oh yeah, so. Excellent synergy with the Grimstroke through multiple heroes. I mean, obviously the Rories you're suggesting with the Soulbind, and the fact that you're also playing with these mobile cores like the Monkey King and the Weaver that are going to be able to get in the faces of OG. I see the bit of a setup here, Samau. He's playing careful.
I'm intrigued by OG's draft too, though, because they also, looking at theirs, they don't really hit buildings. It's, I guess, like Underlord, when if they win
I
a
was gonna
fight,
say
he's
Underlord,
probably the
dude.
best one, right?
Yeah, he really is. This guy, once he starts getting some that aura up, he punches hard, you know.
So they have a big team fight lineup, though, right? They have a lot of ways to just constantly take fights, not really cooldown dependent almost at all for anybody on their team. So that's the one thing, as the panel mentioned, they're just going to look to brawl. It's OG. They're going to look to just take fights constantly. That's how they'll get objectives. They're just going to outnumber you and probably just surround you. So.
Yeah, when they do group up as a bunch, this lineup from OG is going to have some serious force behind it.
Yup.
And you know, potentially going to be pushing it at a point where, you know, maybe Weaver and Monkey King aren't going to be too scary. We'll see how well they do at the beginning, because I think, as you said, I think Koifa should have a pretty free time in the mid. I don't think this Dazzle's going to put any pressure in top lane. Mickey against the Underlord as well. You know, there's every reason to see Mickey and Koifa not have a terrible start this game. Tubs.
Yeah, mid one actually already, though. The one thing that you do have to watch out for as a Weaver is you can get doubled up on creep waves. That's the thing, is Dazzle's always been a pretty interesting mid laner that you can do really well in a lot of matchups, just because you have an amazing animation, you have good harass, and you have wave push always. Even has a sentry already placed down too, so if Clipper the Shukuchis could get punished. So I think mid one should still have a good time at least.
For Koifa to do anything aggressive on the Dazzle should be fine. I would be surprised if we don't see anything sort of a clean trade and farm in that lane. We'll see in terms of the laning stage down bottom, you know, Smail playing the safe lane, Ember backed up by No-Tail. I imagine that this isn't necessarily a very fun lane for Smail, right? This Grim Beastmaster, you know, once there's a few levels behind them, they're going to be able to put pressure onto a safe lane Ember, right?
Yeah, just hitting him over and over again. But once those levels do break out, they do have. There's only going to be the one spell that can really break Flame Guard. So I'm wondering if he gets the 2 early points in it, right? Then they can't break it. Like the Grim Stroke won't be able to unless he lands a really perfect Stroke of Fate along the creeps and gets that extra damage bonus on it. So he's going to get a point for the decision.
Yeah, having that second point in the Flame Guard is going to be great for just like killing off the boar as well, right? You run in and this boar is just going to have to be microed away, otherwise it will just fall every time.
Yep.
Can't really keep it in attacking the Ember.
No-Tail's doing a good job of, he's even using Cold Feet on the boar and then just using his Chill Touch. He actually gets a kill on it there, and it's a significant amount of experience, and they've gotten pulls already down bottom. You see their lane is at least getting a lot of XP.
Mid lane. I mean, I said I thought it'd be even, but Koifa turning up big time and getting the first blood on mid one.
Look, I wasn't looking. I didn't see how low he was.
That is not the lane you expect to see first blood happening in. I guess that mid one just stepping up a little bit too far and not enough heals to keep himself up. Koifa winning the trade war there and getting first blood. Pretty huge for him as well. This mid lane, as you can see, already actually having a CS advantage. So Koifa definitely having the better time in this 1v1. So if they can bring him down, they've got the Jingu Mastery up, and he does have the Boundless Strike ready to throw down Mickey, but at just level 1, he knows that it's not going to be enough to really harm Seb too much. So anyway, save it, line it up, and make sure you use it in a fashion to get a maximum amount of heal off it, getting the creeps and as many heroes as possible. That's been Fade Barrage, and he's saving on time. He's surely going to want to use it to get that heal. There we go. There we go. Back up to full HP as he clears up the creep wave.
And we did see Sumail actually is going for a little bit of a different build. This looks like, I guess it's more of also a kill skill build, right? Because he has the Cold Feet level 2.
Yeah,
so Cold Feet. So they're going to try to set up kills rather than using that Flame Guard.
Now then, Master Boxy steps forward. They throw it down. Coffee is going to probe, but he has the Ink Swell on him. Stun will connect on Sumail, but Boxy, he'll fall. Sumail also getting very, very low himself. Insania is trying to finish him off. He's juking through the trees, but indeed the Boar Vision will allow Insania to set up and get the kill. At the same time, up top, Liquid were also able to make moves in onto Seb, having that higher level, the extra point in the Boundless Strike, meaning they had the nuke damage to burst him down. Mid lane, again, mid one. He's having a back ride up. Yeah, that sort of first kill, it's starting to spiral out of control. Koifa's got the level advantage. This level 3 Shukuchi, you know, it hits pretty hard, and you've got a decent mana pool nowadays. You know, you get these 2 Wraith Bands to be pretty liberal with the way that you just hit the Dazzle constantly with harass.
Yeah, kind of neat. He didn't actually go for bottle or anything. He's just playing straight up lane. It probably helps because he got that early kill, right? That he's able to get this straight up stats, just win the last hit super hard. He's 24 and 8. All 3 lanes actually for Liquid going super well because of those flexible picks that they did set themselves up with early.
And I think that is, yeah, so for sure, a little bit of a worry for OG. Is their lineup definitely requiring momentum? I mean, any lineup that is sort of built around a mid-down was going to need it. Insania, he'll dive the coffee box. He's going to try and find a kill in return. He's on top of No-Tail with the Ink Swell stun. The ball slowing him as well as Boxy doesn't want to dive too far. The tower starts to hit on him and he backs away, and indeed he's in trouble. Sumail chains connection, cuts him out with a sleight of fist. So where's lanes may have seen some fortune for Liquid this bottom lane. OG cleaning up both of them.
I think Boxy just playing his hand a little bit too much there, just playing too far forward.
Top lane, Seb's in trouble again. They're slowing him down. TP's come in, but he's already been burst low by the boundless strike. Seb will fall. McKay getting a second kill up here on this top lane. Will be able to start investing in the phase boots. So very much the sort of pressure on this bottom lane. Sumail, he's had this situation where he's getting involved in kills. They need this Ember to have this good start, because the other cores are going to struggle out the lanes.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I feel like I've said this every single time I've casted, but I'm watching the supports, at least Taiga in particular in this game. You see he's only level 2 and change, almost level 3. Mickey, almost level 6. So he's just been giving that Monkey King, because he knows the Monkey King has a great matchup versus that Underlord, ensure that he has that even better start. Mickey is already 6 now. Underlord is level 3.
Yeah, it's a real rough area for Seb to be in.
Quick, but now will back up and go for that bottle. So he will now have that room control as we were talking about earlier. Top of that set. And he's making a move. He's actually keeping bottom.
Well, yeah, Poxy, he's already gone down. They are going to try and find a kill in return. As you say, with these TPs, they can get revenge. They roll in onto Sumail. They'll get both of them. No-Tail is surrounded. Koifa getting the double.
Oh, he tried to time-lapse back to mid, I think.
That would have been huge value, but
he tried.
Indeed, just didn't quite have the timing there. Still though, with the Shikuchi and the Arcane Rune, he's back there almost as quickly and can get straight back to harassing mid one and making sure that the pressure isn't too much for his tier 1 tower mid. Yeah, very, very nice move there from Quofa in the backup to ensure that really Sumail doesn't get too far out of control, because Sumail, he's playing the lane really nicely. We're seeing each time with the Ink Swell Liquid, you know, dodging this, and with this build where he's maxing the sleight and the chains, it really does hurt. You know, sleight chains combo, that's sort of half the HP of a Grimstroke, and then you follow that up with No-Tail. You can see why they are getting the kills down here, but yeah, quite
mid lane, mid one looks like he's about to get chased, and right, he does hit level 7, so he has Grave now available.
He's not even going to use it. Not even going to use it. A little surprising. He had a lot of mana. I mean, he put down to ping, I'm sure. You know. Yeah,
he had a fairy fire too, so you know something. Yeah. Something happened.
Yeah. So yeah. Sometimes the ping fluctuates. You know. Sometimes it's 190. Sometimes it's 210. You know.
Never know. So Sumail, I'm actually like thinking more about it, and I'm liking the skill build even more, because at their draft too, I think the chains are even just, they're so good in this game too. If there's those mid-game fights versus the Weaver too, that's going to come into play, having those early points and chains are going to be really useful for his team. So like we're talking about, Sumail is kind of that one that's having the pretty okay start right now, so that'll help his team at least a bit when he does have that disable for the Weaver as Seb top.
Poor old Seb. He's so scared. He is just about to hit level 5, but still, yeah, that level difference certainly hurting. Mickey level 7, he's got the phase, Double Venom, he's ready to start building the Echo Saber. Monkey King and Weaver on Liquid's half, going to have a very good beginning to this game. And it'll be half for mid one instead of have too much impact. Koifa will have regen being taken away from him by Saxa. But Koifa's moving over to help out Tiger. Seb has been found. He's trying to get himself a little bit of safety here back in the jungle. This time the Grave will come in time onto Seb. Seb goes for the TP out. They will have the stun to cancel it though. Seb gets held back. He will fall. They'll turn over towards Saxa. Koifa ready to clean up more. Now has to time lapse out and doesn't quite have enough damage to kill off the Rubik. So Saxa will live. But now Sumail is in. Sumail, he has a remnant prepared. Oh, back by the tier 2. Well, indeed, knocked down Mickey on the way past, which was a good job. Otherwise, Mickey may have been able to follow. Actually, I guess didn't have Primal Spring available, but still, another trade where Liquid, they're getting the kills. Koifa continues to be incredibly slippery. They really struggle to hold him down, and now back towards mid. They're in on mid one, of course. Grave still on cooldown after using it to save Seb. He's got no way to keep himself alive this time. Liquid bullying both the mid lane and the top lane, bringing all 4 heroes into this sort of area. OG are coming out with the smoke. Sumail's going to try for a setup, but Liquid, they've got a lot of people if they want to try and out Tiger. Tiger will fall. Maybe they can get more as they go towards Mickey, even though Liquid have a few here. Can they actually take this fight? They're trying for Saxa, but Sumail jumps in with the Remnants. Insane has Iggs full upon him. Sumail still got 2 Remnants to play with. Another Sleight of Fist brings Mickey low. Not quite enough to kill him. They're looking for Quakefer, as Quakefer is very low on the mana. Availability for a Shikuchi, but he's out of range. Sumail, does he want to try and chase over onto enemy territory? He certainly does. Get the slight change combo. But still Insania and Tiger are by Quakefer's side, so OG won't dive any further.
I think he just gives away his, well, not 100%, but you kind of give away one of your wards there, right? Because there's no way that they should be able to see that far up there, unless it's just him, unless you're assuming he just randomly did it. As Sumail still getting aggressive for the room.
He did. I mean, he managed to grab it. He's out with the Remnant, and job well done. Sumail's in and out. Takes that bounty rune away from Liquid. Bottom Liquid. They will find notes out, but the AI does come out. Sumail's a little too low on mana to capitalize on it and try and finish off these kills, so no one will die to this Tiger. It should be fine, living just above the threshold. Of course, all whilst this goes down,
minutes, though,
you know, it's I tell you who it is as well, Seb is. You know, he's finally getting some space on this top lane. We're seeing Liquid sort of focused all around this other area. Seb's finally been able to reach out and get some farm up top, which he so desperately needed. Now, all 3 cores of OG very much playing already a bit of a catch-up game here at 10 minutes in, as both Quake and Mickey lead the charge in farm.
You just spoke about Seb, and I clicked him, and I think he made a boo-boo.
Well, what's he done?
I have to talk to him about that afterwards, but he's got, I don't know if I've seen Tranquil boots on that hero before.
I mean, why
Maybe.
not? You know, it's...
I mean, maybe. Mid-lane.
Yeah. There we go, the setup's there with the snowball. They're looking for Saxa, but Saxa's able to turn with a lift onto Tiger. Coming in with a side of fist, Sumail takes down the Tusk. Sumail, you can feel him. Power, he wants to fight, and he's going to look for potentially more hit. Nice Boss doesn't hit though, so doesn't want to go further. And again, just constantly using the Sleight of Fist, this maxed out Sleight of Fist that is harassing them. Quakefer moves in onto Sumail, but Sumail is prepared. He has ran all too hard for Liquid to go on them. Really, they need Boxy to be around with the Roar if they want to try and catch this Ember right now. Sumail jumping all over the place. And going for that physical build, of course, with the slight map, queuing up the Crystallis.
I like it quite a bit when you're playing with Dazzle. You already have bad juju coming into play in a lot of the fights, right? So you're just straight physical damage with that minus armor is going to be, can be pretty nice for himself. I think those last few moments were like the dream for the offlaners. Both of them have recovered a lot. We've got Boxy pushing bottom, Seb pushing top, you were mentioning. But Liquid were good about dictating the pace still with their very mobile heroes. This Monkey King and Weaver, you see they're not letting down. They're looking to just keep trying the right spot. OG responding.
Doing an excellent job of getting the catches. Indeed, this Mickey Monkey King farming in a bit of a precarious area. They did have a ward down, Liquid, so I guess he just felt a little safer than he was in that area. But Sumail just consistently on the hunt for catches. Boxy will get some time to put some pressure onto the tier 1 top.
Yeah, he's caught up. He's level 9. He has his book. First level of that book already done. He's got a smoke already queued up too. And they're already looking to pressure towers quite quick.
He's trying to hunt for the Rubik in the trees, but Saxa with the tree dance a little too hard to catch. He's able to keep his distance.
Yeah, Weaver is so slow. He's so slow now with the boots change. It's actually crazy. He doesn't get the percentage in the Sakuchi, so when he's moving around, he's just very slow here in comparison to what he used to be.
Yeah. I mean, he was very, very fast to be fair. But you're right.
Still 580, but you know, before it was like 600, so you know, you're cruising.
Well, Seb, killing some birds. Quafer, yeah, trying to go for that diffuser. They smoke up the two of them, Insane and Quafer, as they look to reposition. Maybe looking towards this kill on the mid lane. We'll see how safe mid one plays it.
They want to try to get some more power up, right? They haven't even really hit this one. Now for mid one.
That's the brutal combo there. The silence into the stun. There's no chance for a grave. Sumail will be able to find the grab onto Tiger as he dives under the tower. So a trade is found. OG seeing if they can push in for more. Sumail, he's got the slight change combo, ready to go again. Gets the connection onto Insania. Another setup from Sumail. The ice blast flies through. Insania will die. Double buyback coming out from Liquid. They look to turn. They'll find Saxa with the Roar. It is just the Rubik though. Ideally with his 2 buybacks, they need to find something more out of this. But I don't think they will unless Mickey can find some sort of connection. He's there with the wraparound. Goes for the stun onto Sumail. Sumail, but Sumail, he's already picked up the Arcane Ring. He's got enough mana to jump out with the Remnant. Sumail is fine. Tiger going in with a deep snowball move here. He's now starting to tick down low. Another Remnant in. Already he falls. OG Nota had the damage. And, I mean, that was a dieback from the Tusker. The two by Liquid not working out whatsoever as they lose Tusk a second time and they lose their tier 1 tower. They only got a Ruby out of it.
Chased a bit here too. Does chase, not connect, and he actually dodges the damage and gets to this chip ball. Ooh. Okay, stop. Primal, or Tree Giants off start.
Definitely a bit of a break though given to OG with that bit of a misplay from Liquid.
And you gave a lot of space to Seb in particular, who we were talking about how he's in the recovery. He's a big hero in this game because he's a lot of their, I guess, like, in a way, they're disable versus the Weaver. If he gets Atos and he has this pit, that Weaver is going to start having some problems, and he's getting pretty close to it already.
Yeah, he's getting some serious fun. Yeah, you know, this game goes on for another couple of minutes, and this sort of pace, you are going to see pretty much all of OG's cores caught back up. Because they can play for the objectives, can group up to what they did mid, on the top and the bottom. Tier 1s are still there. And yeah, as you say, once that Atos is out, the catch, the team fight and control from OG is going to be hard for these more slippery cores of Liquid to deal with.
Surprised to see Insania still not take his ult either. He's 3-1-4. Yeah. He has the Beast Master, they have the combo. They haven't had the most opportunities, but now he won't have it for the upcoming situation. And it's already 16 minutes in, so...
Yeah. I imagine maybe, well, obviously you want the Inkswell maxed out. I guess maybe he just favors having more damage from the Stroke of Fate to deal with the low-level Flame Guard. But I mean, even then it's just a low-level Seb. All right, they'll take it. Boxy's in with the Roar. Seb surrounded and instantly walks into his death. Liquid, they're going to start hunting for more in the trees. They'll finally catch on an Hotel with the shards. Already Mickey's starting to play around with mid-1 as Liquid. They caught OG very broken up. And they're going to get the kills because of this. Mid-1, he'll slowly but surely fall. The grave will only buy him some time. Boxy's the one to claim the triple kill. As OG, they just were not ready for that. Liquid just... sort of just awkwardly walked into each other, and Liquid just ended up killing all three of them.
That was like the most perfect smoke ever. They literally caught Seb as he gets his Atos TPing in. He just gets instantly killed. Now Saksa, Gucci, but he's likely to go down too.
Shots are on point from Tiger. Saksa cannot get out in time. So 4 heroes, one after another, dying on OG. Only Sumail to stay alive amongst all of that chaos that ensued on the top half of the map. It's a very back and forth game.
And that's like, it's really interesting how they did that. Smoke too, right? Because like the tower had already pretty much was dead, right? I mean, mid-1 they had already claimed it by the time they reached, or as they were reaching Seb in the backline. So they were doing a full smoke. They weren't even smoking to defend the tower. That was a smoke just to get tons of kills and just lose your tower. That was a different than what I feel like I usually see.
Sumail's on the hunt. They did smoke, but the smoke gets dispelled. He's too close to Tiger. Slight won't catch anyone. Quakefor a little more prepared to fight now that he has the Diffusal Blade complete, so certainly amping up his power. And this
he's
top
so
lane,
good versus these supports. Like the Rubik is a little annoying for him, but he's amazing versus AA.
He's keeping himself hidden for now. They do manage to catch Sumail there. They were setting up the 3 of them top, and Sumail ends up walking into a bit of a trap. Sumail's getting very important that OG keepers going good. He is sort of the leader of the way that they take these fights. So without Sumail, things do start to crumble a little bit. Seb's still looking to find this catch on the bottom lane. Knows that with the action up top, Liquid are likely to be low on numbers down here, and indeed it is just Boxy, but Boxy keeping himself hidden, staying in the trees. No TP for 30 seconds, so this will be a bit of time where Boxy is forced out of the map, and so having to sit AFK.
Boxy left his courier in the lane as well. Killed. He also gave both kills on his netbooks, and
he's going to show because he's going to try for Nota, but Nota's got back up with him. A bit of an ambitious attempt there from Boxy with the Roar. Nota's going to be saved by the grave, and Boxy's going to die for that attempt. Seb does get low to Tiger and Insania, but there's no further follow from the 2 of them. McKay, does he want to commit to try and seize this kill? He's revving up the ultimate. The Soulbind's out. They'll lay him down with the Powerless Strike. Seb's getting low. They'll get the kill. It's a double for McKay. Over the mid when they go in with the Snowball, cancelling the TP. They'll get a 3rd kill. Liquid will manage to get out on top of that trade. They do end up losing Tiger at the end of it all to the Poison Touch, but the numbers favor them, and McKay, getting those kills as he did, continues to boost his farm on top of the Echo Saber. He's almost got the money for his Maelstrom, so the 3 cores of Liquid do remain on top.
Maelstrom for... Oh, Mickey.
Oh, he changed it.
I think
He had it queued.
So.
All right.
But he had, I mean, that last fight was, yeah, it was Mickey's godly positioning. They also had the Hawk and a lot of information coming up from what Foxy did. But yeah, Mickey, he's really dominating. Him and Koikfa having a spectacular game so far. 9-0 on Koikfa too. And No Tail looking to be pretty dead.
Seem to make that 10-0 if they want to commit for out. Before they head back over. Actually, a little scared now that Sumail's around. The army is coming in onto No Tail, but it's not enough to kill him. No Tail's actually going to be able to get away from Boxy's army. As the rest of OG there to protect him from the animals.
Still 3K lead. Really smart right now. They're keeping their lanes pushed in really nicely. I've noticed throughout the entirety of this game too. Foxy's been spamming his Necro books, pushing waves out using his boars as well. I see Mickey, he's been jumping, forcing those lanes in constantly. So they've been having good information constantly and great wards. Look how deep these wards are. They're actually watching OG's movements as they progress toward top with that one that never got dewarded. Because OG probably feels safe because they have a sentry on top of it. But that ward was placed afterwards, so they don't see it. Liquid with all the information right now of what's going on.
Find themselves nothing but the illusions of Koikfa. But they're also happy to try and push for these tier 2s rather than necessarily getting kills. They want to continue to just clean up this area, take what they can away from Liquid and see how much Liquid want to put into responding. A TP comes in from Tiger. Him and Insania sat behind the tower. Boxy prepared to sort of intervene from the back lines. But already OG seem a little spooked. They know that Liquid's starting to build the numbers up and they begin the retreat. Seb's going to be the one left behind. Boxy leads in with the roar. Seb's relatively tanky. Tiger's going to roll across. Can they burst him down? They're bringing him low. Seb's still alive. Finally falls. The balance strike from Mickey comes out. As after cleaning up Sumail, he's ready to move over, join the rest of Liquid to finish off the remainder of OG. Saxon tries for the TP, but Koikfa finds him with the Shikuchi. Only mid one able to get out alive. Everybody else dies.
Liquid had, I was mentioning it, right? Like Liquid, they had all the information in the world. They played that, like OG played directly into their hands. And Sumail actually making a big error here. He's waiting on the outpost. I don't know if you could see it on the where the fight was happening. He was actually on the outpost. He got hit by the diffusal, like a couple times by the diffusal blade mana break. And he's out of mana and he couldn't remnant away. He just dies to pretty much the Weaver in a few seconds by himself. And then they're isolated up top without their Ember Spirit. Liquid with a perfect move and a perfect read. They had the ward vision of watching OG all set up for that, and they just took their time and set up for it perfectly.
No, it is hard for Sumail to play against the Diffusal Blade. You know, as an Ember Spirit, your mana pool, it isn't that amazing, right? Most team fights, you're going through the majority of it. You know, as soon as you sort of just pop the Flame Guard, jump in, chains and a Sleight Fist, that's easily over half your mana pool, so you get hit a few times.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen if he had the mana break talent yet. I think he may have gotten 15 right after he got the kill, but either way, like you're a Weaver. You burn it very quickly, as you're mentioning.
Well, OG immediately on the hunt once more. Reclaim this outpost. Koikfa's got a TP back, join the rest of his team. He's very close to having that BKB done. And I mean, as we've seen already, he's not dying. And with the BKB, they don't have anything to control him through the BKB. Once that's out this game, he's going to be fine. The only thing they have ready to hurt him is obviously this physical Sumail is going for, but there's nothing to stop him BKBing and time-lapsing. Pretty much for the rest of this game, there's not really any sort of itemization that OG's heroes are likely to go for that's going to deal with that weave for BKB.
No, it does seem like it's just going to get, at the pace that it is, it's going to be really hard for OG to take fights too, because now it's double Blink Dagger, Grimstroke, and Beastmaster, so you're going to see double roars coming into play very soon from Liquid constantly. This is looking really problematic for OG. I don't really know how they're going to be able to respond for this, but it's going to have to be some miraculous fight.
I'm going to try and have a bit of a poke on Mickey. They do manage to bring him down. Yeah, Mickey just caught on the front. The rest of Liquid already paid him. Well, they're out of there. And maybe Sumail could try and up for more. Tries to find someone with a slight change, but all he gets is half of the Beastmaster's army. The rest of Liquid are out of there, but definitely a bit of an awkward move there from Mickey stepping up front, and they just didn't have the safety behind him. There's not really any sort of saving that Liquid can offer other than the snowball, and a lot of the time that can, you know, only be a temporary measure of safety as you end up getting rolled into the enemy team.
And you can't save versus pit because you can't actually like blink into the pit and snowball because you're rooted.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those really hard ones to actually try to protect this Insania. He's also getting found out here.
Liquid just getting caught sort of separate in ways that you wouldn't have expected it. I think, you know, Mickey dying like that with the rest of his team sort of sitting back and watching was, you know, that definitely caught Liquid by surprise. They did not expect that Monkey King to fall on the front that quickly.
I was surprised that he was even showing himself in the front there, right? Because the Weaver's the one who's like got the BKB, and he's this very elusive hero. Monkey King can just sit in the trees. He went for the risky item build with Desolator, so I mean, OG just capitalizes on it massively. Now they're trying to go for a Roche here.
I mean, they're doing it. It's a half HP. Liquid are heading over. They do have a pretty excellent team fight around the pit, so OG's got to hurry this up if they want to get away with it. It's getting low. Boxy's going to go with the raw side of it all. Seth forces his way out of the pit. They'll look over towards Tiger affected by the cold feed. They'll kill off the Tusk as well as the Grimstrap. Both supports down. Tusk back. Quite for committing with the BK. No tail, but mid one's there with the grave. Another heal, and the mech. No tail's going to be able to stay alive. Only sacks are going down, so a 2-for-1 trade. Buybacks obviously coming out from both supports. They really want to try and contest this Roche. Liquid, they're straight back in the pit. The Roshan's falling low. Is there going to be any intervention from OG? There is not. Liquid, they'll get the Roche kill and they'll get the Aegis.
Great plays still from Liquid. They're still in a good spot. OG made great plays the last few moments, but not able to quite sneak that one away when Liquid actually does still fight. We still see that Liquid is still a much stronger fighting force if they're all together versus OG. Just have to have their positioning, how alone they are.
Just walking in, he's found Tiger. Again, Liquid, after a great play, they sort of split up and suddenly heroes start to fall. Tiger goes down, and OG, they've got the mid lane moving in. See if they want to try and push down this tier 2. Of course, it will be into Mickey and his Aegis, and also very close to BKB Monkey King. Quofa's able to find No Tail, picks him off down bottom as No Tail was trying to soak up some level and farm. OG are remaining around, poking at this tier 2.
Liquid back to pushing everything in. No, we see up top Mickey with no hesitation did continue to push top. Same thing for Koifa was pushing bottom. Now he's almost got the BKB. He should feel a lot safer when he does have that one. Foxy gets spotted.
Is able to slide in. Cancel that TP with the pit. Using the raw, Boxy's going to try and bring down Saxa with him. Saxa's getting low, but mid one's around to offer the sustain. A quick pop of the heal and Saxa will be fine. Boxy still lives though for now. It's going to be back up in a second. Foxy, Seb to blink out, Mickey's there with the back. Jumps in onto mid one, Seb's decided it's time to get out of it. Now the force to the side, he will. Saxa, can he get him range in time? He can. Saxa will be taken back with Seb to safety. Still very much a hard game for OG. It's still 8k down, and as you say, with these cores, with their BKBs, do pose a huge threat for OG's lineup that do struggle to deal much damage at all through the Magic community.
They have no control for them either, and they lose 2 heroes. And Koifa, he has the BKB, and now they've got the Soulbind.
Well, 2-man silence, look at the 2 of them down. Samael's trying to get that poke off him. He cannot do so in time. Both Samael and Sep will fall, and now Liquid can collapse on the remainder of OG. No Tail will also go down. We're seeing Koifa, if he can press BKB, he is going to live every single fight. And we're seeing that in the numbers 14-0-7 on the mid Weaver this game.
Yeah, he's had a perfect game, right? Like, it's 14-0-7. He killed, he got the first, he did like everything he had to do so far in this one. Liquid have given up a couple kills here and there, but overall, they've kept their composure. Now when they're in, I forward the roll.
Foxy just commits straight away with the roll on to mid one. Mid one's gone over towards Saxa. They turn, he's silenced. Mickey trying to dive in for this one. And with the slow from Insania, they'll get it. 2 kills behind the tier 3s. They'll resume pushing. This game is getting closer and closer to just looking to be a little too much for OG's draft to deal with when playing behind. They're down 14k. They're going to lose this bottom melee racks. And their only real scaling core that's in an okay position is Samael. The mid dazzle and the offlane Underlord are going to struggle to offer much now against this push that Liquid can offer with their BKBs.
Yeah, I think the panel was talking about a lot too, is how like OG's draft is a lot about like early and mid game. And they've fallen out very far behind in this mid game. And it's just seeming to be super difficult for them to try to take down any of the cores really on the side of Liquid. They've gotten Boxy maybe a couple times, but the 2 important ones at least. very difficult. Now they're going to try to push their lanes down here for a bit. They still have top pushed in for OG, but making any plays right now is so difficult for them.
I think it's getting to the stage where if you're OG, you are waiting to see if Liquid, maybe dive a little too far, start force, because fighting lineup outside of your base right now when you're 15k down, you just don't have the power. You don't have the heroes. McKay level 20, halfway into the money for his Aghanim Scepter. And Quakefor, what's he going for next?
I like how they're being careful on Liquid. Yeah. They have their top lane pushing in. They didn't really see too much information. Actually, like pretty much no information on the map. They're like, all right, hold your hand, hold everybody's hand, have a buddy system. All right, everyone together. And now they can probably look to just smoke and probably take a straight up fight whenever they'd like to. Bottom is pushing in heavily, and OG will always have to address that. And mid is also pushing in pretty nice.
Oh, it's Quakefor as well. He's playing it the safe way in terms of itemization. He's going for the Lincoln Sphere. He did, I would imagine, see the ultimate orb on Dazzle, knows that mid-one is going to try and build this Hex to have some sort of lock before the BKBs come out. But before that Hex is going to be there, that Lincoln's will be complete. Lane, they'll look for the lead in onto Seb. Seb trying to keep himself alive with the Ghost Scepter. Buys him a little bit of time. Still though, McKay's trying to close the gap. Jumps in deep. Over to the two of them. There's the Raw, splitting them apart. The Soulbind destroying both mid-one and Saxa. Seb cannot get out in time. 3 dead on OG. Liquid are definitely free to just run down mid, take this tier 2, and almost certainly more. Samel has been found with a Boundless Strike. Does have a Remnant. A Tiger will follow through with the circle pretty deep. Gets the punch up. Quakefor's in on top of Samel. Samel, he throws up the Remnant out, but his mana, it's gone. Samel is dead. He'll buy back. OG still trying to hold on, but this game 1 looking pretty grim for them as Liquid managed to play this in a way that would cause that OG's lineup just wasn't prepared to deal with the lane setup, the mid lane and the top, this mid Weaver and this safe lane Monkey King. They had a dream start, and you're seeing it now in the performance. 31 minutes in, 2 sets of racks to their advantage in a 23k lead. This game is getting closer and closer to being over for OG.
It seemed pretty over for a little bit of time now, but they're still gonna I guess they're still gonna keep themselves in the base. But no, Liquid, I love their planning. I think this one, the way that they had set up everything throughout the draft, and then they picked this Weaver last and put it mid. I feel like that was the start of an amazing thing, and just kind of falling into place for them. Quakefor just steamrolled. I mean, he just dominated OG really.
Yeah, I can't remember who did it, but we definitely have seen some other teams play around with the idea of putting Weaver in the mid lane. But I mean, we're seeing how good it really can be. I mean, it just makes sense, right? This hero, if you get those early levels, that solo XP, it's Kuchi at Hush. You're able to do so much from an early level. You're such a nuisance to do it. Beke finding a beautiful jump in into the middle of 4 members of OG. Saxa goes down. Samel and Seb having to try their best to retreat, but Seb, he's shut in by the Igloo. There'll be a buyback from mid-one. OG still desperately trying to get something going their way, but I do not see it happening as the dive comes in from Liquid, taking out DOTA. Samel again in trouble. The silence from Insania. The Ink Swallows when he tries to close the gap on mid-one. The Root will hold in place Samel. He gets another sleight of fist out, but he will fall up inside his own base. And there we have it. They'll tap out. It is enough for OG in this game 1 as Liquid. They come in with some smart strats, and it proves to be super effective. 44-18, 2k gold lead. This game, it was all Liquid. OG's going to have to come back with something totally different in game 2.
Yeah, just love, like I said, love the way they set it up where it's like, oh, you think the Monkey King's going to be mid, then they do the little...
Like devotion, empty notion. Like a roaring ocean, slow in motion. Lay down your troubled like a roaring ocean, slow in motion. Lay down your troubled mind. We are only kind and will kindly cease to be as we intertwine with their universe, and it
crafters, mostly the 9K players on Reddit, talking about how Seb should never play Enigma, and they were very upset with his performance. And then Liquid apparently did them a favor and removed it from the pool. I'm shocked to see Seb on these slower paced heroes, because you think of Owen's legendary call, I'm sure he's listening, and the Seb Axe, his Nature's Prophet, Bat Rider, even. Like, where are these heroes from in his pool?
I mean, to be fair, he did play a lot of Tree and Thunderlord and heroes as well. So you'll always gonna remember the flashy ones, but it's not like he didn't play the slower ones as well. So,
but he didn't play them in the TI finals, though.
Yeah, so the only game we're gonna remember is the TI finals game 5, right? It's not how it works. Like, to me, Liquid, why they banned the Enigma? Liquid like late game. Enigma is one of the best late game heroes. You just get rid of it, and you want to have the superior late game if you're Liquid. That's how I feel.
I can maybe see it as like that get out of jail free card, like you play all that, you play push with the Enigma, cool, but then you get to the high ground, you make that one mistake. I can see it being a gotcha Liquid, bad position, and boys, give us the win. So I can see maybe why, but I just think the way that Liquid played this game, we look less at the draft. If Liquid can maintain the same type style of pick, that potential flexibility in the gotcha laning, you have a Liquid that is playing very strong and playing as if they are equal to OG. Again, it's hard to say because of OG playing with...
Huh?
Why did you say as if they're equal to OG?
Because it's one game, so it's hard to say that they are equal to OG. But off of one game, they have the ability to match up in this series. I think that's the way that wording it.
You got to assume they have a lot of confidence. They did just take down Secret, who have looked incredible.
Exactly. They're riding this
for
wave
the first time. That was yesterday, so you know that you're feeling good.
8th time the charm.
I really liked that Insania tweeted out. There's because it's a quote from that tennis player. After he had lost almost 17 sets in a row, he's like, "No one beats me 17 sets in a row." But of course, or 17 games, whatever. It doesn't matter. Insania plays tennis. That's what's important. Opener going to come out soon. It is Liquid with the first pick. Shadow Demon still in the pool, along with, once again, Chen, Furion, and Enchantress. I was really surprised to see OG stay away from those in the first game.
Grimstroke for now as well, I think. But this is where I like OG's bans. They're very much... I don't think they're very good this game, because we just saw how Liquid drafted, not even touching on these clunkier... not meta, but the pairings, right? We didn't see them touch any of these pairings. They're very open, and they banned out Mars and Phoenix. It's like, I think they're getting baited into what Liquid's done in the past and not what they're trying to do in the present against OG.
I mean, like, we also saw Liquid in some other games. They did play the pairings, right? So they might just have like one game against OG that they prepared these kind of heroes, and OG is still like, okay, you're not gonna win 2 times in a row this way that you just swap the lanes or do something unconventional. You're going to have to beat us with like straight up that we each know what we're doing, right? So to me, it's fine that you ban out the big team fights. Liquid, they like late game. They've liked late game for like a year now, at least, that they've played together. They've played like obviously longer than that, and to me that's probably part of the game where they would feel more comfortable beating OG than other times.
I would be more likely to agree with you had they not just slaughtered OG really hard throughout the mid game.
I think that can always happen, right? But just overall, how this team likes to win is the late game.
Okay. All right. Grimstroke, once again, the first pick. Plenty of synergy there. The Beastmaster, of course, is banned.
I like that adjustment. I like the fact that they moved the Beast to the first phase ban. Just get rid of it. The way that Liquid drafted it was like, we need a way to take objectives, own a part of the map, and do value. I like that ban. Maybe not the others, but the Beastmaster ban. Top stuff.
It's tough right now because you think about the OG3 cores, right? You've got Sumail on like 150 ping. You've got Mid One on like 200 ping. And then you have Seb coming out of retirement, right? He's still a solid player, but he's got to have lost at least a couple of steps. So who do you activate here? Who do you run a player around? Maybe we bring back the Mag Ember that they won TI with? What's the move?
I still think it's the Sumo factor, right? He's clearly accustomed to playing on EU servers. He's playing on pubs and stuff. It's not like it's going to be like a brand new experience for him. I think mid one we saw that he can play that space-making hero on the mid lane, the Void Spirit, for example. So I think they are playing with a jankier roster than usual, but I think out of all the teams that can play with the adversity, these will be the guys. But give Sumail your win condition and then allow mid one to play out a game. But I just think, again, last comment on that first game, I don't think they were expecting the Dazzle Weaver to go so poorly, because I think, again, Fog said it during the cast, it's Dazzle naturally pushed out your wave, Weaver doesn't like pushing out the wave, but unfortunately mid one got a little bit too aggressive, overstepped his mark, and then Quakeover ignores the creeps, kills Dazzle.
And he fell victim to the classic trap of you look to double wave, but unfortunately he pushed the wave like too fast because it even started under his tower. So you end up just playing on enemy's hill, and you give away a free level 2 to the Weaver. Leshrac Tusk, unconventional opener. This is from like a meta long ago. Leshrac, one of Liquid's, like, both teams pick it, let's be real. But I do love it on OG because it just fits their style, right? It can scale, takes towers, mixed damage, and an immediate DK from Liquid. What are your thoughts, Harry Freak?
I mean, if it's just the mid lane, like, or anywhere the Lash wants to push, you just bring in the DK and he's most likely not dying. I guess if it's a mid Lash, you don't skill the Edict until like level 5, so you do have the magic damage, but I don't see this Dragon Knight dying. We saw Boxy play him, we saw Koikva play him, so it's a flex pick for them, much as the Lash is for OG, so I think that it's actually a really good answer. Plus, it's a really good combo with the Grimstroke later on because of the double stun.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think, again, the fact that they are Liquid are first pick, so this DK, by the end of second phase, they'll decide where it's laning. It forces OG to potentially show the Leshrac card. It might be off lane, it can be in any lane, right? I like also Leshrac for the ping factor. If it's played on Sumo or mid one, all they have to do is press ult, quick cast the other spells, and just hands off. As long as they can keep it alive, it should be good to go.
And Shock, this hero made it all the way to the second phase. Shadow Demon have the Purge, so even whoever you Inkswell, just can immediately remove that. Late game, we got to assume this will be a Soxa Shadow Demon. If you get an Ags, break the DK, massive damage is possible, and of course the great roaming potential.
That's such a scary 3 heroes right now. Like whatever lane those 2 supports move to, if the Leshrac's there, that should be a kill pretty much on any hero, unless they have like a Juggernaut type hero that can just spin out of the disruption.
And the point is that now, when I say this, I want to say that it's gonna be a Leshrac in the side lane, that it's not gonna be in mid. To lane with the Shadow Demon, and then Tusk comes in, whichever lane it is, wherever they want to put it. So this is actually a pretty formidable combo. They do a lot of damage in the laning phase and even in the later stages of the game. Like, it's gonna be a really easy kill into a tower for these 2 heroes.
I like Liquid maybe picking up a Earth Spirit or just a initiating position 4 here. You don't really reveal too much in your draft. You already know, of course, OG will run at you. They've shown that with their 3 picks. It's very clear. And then you force the Leshrac to be put into either 2 lanes. They have to pick up a core. You can then at least answer that with your next pick, and then you're in a good position.
Did OG ban Nyx? I feel like, okay, they go for the Earth Spirit.
My man.
Like, I definitely agree with what you said. I liked Nyx better, though I think that maybe they banned it. Though the Earth Spirit does give you the initiation, like you said, better so than the Nyx does. So then there's no that disruption because you're the one that's actually starting to fight.
Yeah, it provides the reach advantage, right?
Yeah.
Nyx is nice more, I think, as a combo breaker, counter initiation tool, whereas Red Spirit, you Inkswell them, roll forward, pop right on top of that.
It's a Liquid classic. Back when they played in Alliance, they'd snap pick this. If they were a second pick, it'd be Grim Earth Spirit. They play their lane level 1, just rolling on you. It was the most obnoxious thing to play against.
They remind me a lot of Secret, this Liquid lineup, where if their supports, really it's the supports that seem to dictate the pace of the game. The cores play solid, don't get me wrong, and I see you guys make faces. What's the deal with the clock?
I think the clock pick, the face was mainly just trying to work out what it is. You know, I can see there's the Tusk, the Lesh, where are these lads going? And now Liquid, they go, all right, you know how you beat a flexible draft that kind of doesn't really have much presence yet? Just pick a boy that just ends the game. Doesn't really care. So Lycan, it's your way out. It's your escape mechanism. You now have DK Lycan. It's a very clean way to end this game.
The concern I've got now is we've talked a lot on the panel before about heroes that are activated by their gold, some activated by experience. And I look at these OG heroes, and it's effectively all just their kit, their XP into damage output. No one really scaling with items. Whereas Liquid, you're going to hit a timing with an item onto a DK, HOD Necro Lycan, and the damage output is absurd.
But the thing I do like so far about the OG draft is their lanes are strong. You have the Tusk SD combo, that's very good. And also you have a lot of small ways to deal with this Lycan. In those early ults that the Lycan wants to thrive in, you've got Cogs, you've got Disruption, Snowball, Shard. Like, you've got so many little ways to prolong the fight. And sure, if Team Liquid, they try and go a little bit aggressive and then they lose one fight, Leshrac unlocks the tower. So I can see them actually being able to muscle up against Liquid early on and just own the map. But again, 2 more picks to go, 1 for either side. Can OG round out their draft with that final piece of the puzzle to give them that forward momentum? They didn't really have that in the first game.
I like your point, though. If Liquid doesn't chase, but they just come to a tower, how you go on the DK, right? You want to go disruption, soul catcher, and burst him down. But when you try to do that, the Earth Spirit just rolls into you and starts the fight that way. I feel like OG doesn't have an answer to that.
Yeah, I think you kind of phrased it when you said when Liquid approaches a tower. If OG never gives Liquid a chance to get to a tower, then that's when they're in their element. And now they have a pot. Liquid's draft right now is just. It's kind of beautiful. DK, Puck, you can be mid or off lane. It's like, cool, OG, we don't care how flexible your lanes are. We've outflexed you here. Like, actually, all 3 of their cores can go in any lane, pretty much.
It's tough for OG to secure an advantage when you consider, as you said, you can go anywhere. And Leshrac doesn't really win a matchup against any of these heroes, regardless of whether he's side lane or mid. And the Alk ban, I think, is excellent, because if you look at this OG lineup, it feels like this 4 support hero combination almost. You need the centerpiece. You need the hero that straight up wins you the game. And maybe a Meepo is a possibility, but
against Puck, it's kind of sad to some degree. You get coiled later on if Puck goes for the physical damage. Let's say you get to that later stage of the game, it's very much Puck favored. You have Urspirit as well. There's a lot of Grimstroke. Okay, there's a lot of ways to deal with a Meepo. I don't think this is the scariest game.
What salvages the draft for you?
I think you look more towards the playstyle that they can adopt and the hero that can jump out. Okay, hold up. Here's a win condition to some. I'll say win condition. Here's a carry. There we go. I'm not. You can hear my voice. It's God. Ooh.
What do you lane the TB mid?
They kind of just have the same issue that I see in the first game. They have the ability to play out the strong, run around, kill everyone. This time they got a TB that can farm in the pocket of aggression behind it. Sorry, but the question is, do you really win these fights? Do you ever get to a point where TB is truly protected?
I am not certain. I've time in perhaps a couple of years, it feels like OG is a little lost in the draft. Liquid already with the 1-game lead and a hell of a lineup as well, poised to dominate the mid game. Harry Freak, thoughts? Who's going to take this one?
No, I think that Liquid is taking this one just because that I don't see the heroes on OG actually making the space for this TB. I think that even if OG wants to push a tower, Liquid can defend. If Liquid wants to push a tower, OG really defend, and to me that's a big deal, because if Liquid takes the towers and OG doesn't, this TB has nowhere to farm, and it's a big problem to me.
I think it just boils down to the wave clear, the fact that Liquid can push out lanes quick to rat to OG, and eventually they'll just out team fight them. So I think Liquid are going to take this 2-0.
All right, well, our panel is unanimous.
What's your prediction, Carl? Hold on. You can't escape.
We're unanimous. I'm just the host. I don't need to make any strong opinions.
What is this?
I would love to welcome back our casting duo, OD, Pixel, and Fog. Please take us away with game 2.
Oh, sounds like it's time for a prediction.
Oh, prediction? Oh,
yeah, could you ask Carl for a prediction, please?
Oh, Kyle. Oh, yeah, sorry, Kyle. We've got to go back to you for the prediction first.
I said Liquid.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
Okay,
You're in charge.
Thank you. We can now proceed with the rest of the show. Thanks, Carl, and thank you, panel. Have a good time watching this game, because I know I will. Fog, this looks like a load of fun, because Liquid, they've got a great draft. OG, they've just fifth picked a Terrorblade. Now, there's sort of questions asked why the hell they pick a Terrorblade, but this was sort of the magic of OG at the past, right? They draft stuff that you look at and you'd be like, what the hell are they doing? And then they win the game with it. So the question is, can they win the game with this fifth pick TB?
Huh. It's a good. Have we not been seeing? We have not been seeing many of this hero, have we?
It's been. I think it's been sort of here and there, but
a here and there one, right?
Yeah, but definitely not one of the common ones.
Okay. The thing I see is one of the bigger things I guess I see is, and I think the reason they probably picked the TB is because you're playing versus Lycan, right? Because you get your reflection later on, and you become this super beast because you get the feral impulse when you do get it on him. So you will be a super, you'll be a monster if you're able to hold your ground as this hero. But I feel like, I mean, Liquid again have a very solid overall draft. I think they've ticked all their boxes. They have good aggression. They have tower push. They have good team fight in general too. It's not single target. So yeah, I mean, Liquid definitely are bringing quite a bit of preparation, it seems, today.
Yeah, we'll see if the sort of players as effective as their draft does certainly look to be. I mean, obviously mentioning the lane setup, Samela is going to start with the TB in the middle lane. So we'll be playing the matchup against Mickey on the DK. Of course, Quakefer, the Lycan master, going to be taking the Lycan to the side. We'll see how these lanes go. See if Samela is able to get a good start. Obviously has to be prepared for Tiger. Tiger's definitely going to be looking to play around this area of the map, or at least coming in and out of the mid lane, as a TB on his own is certainly a little vulnerable early on. He's going to obviously pop the meta and have the abilities to secure the first wave or so. But after that, Samela's got to be careful in this mid if a gank comes in.
Yeah, definitely can. If there is like an early stun, of course, go look for Mickey. It can be possible. Mickey can also always reduce damage of TB, and he has very high base damage, so that breathe fire will be a bit annoying for Sumail. But Sumail, like you said, he should be able to get some pretty good last hits in this lane anyway, I feel, as long as the rotations don't come. As long as he knows where Taiga is on the map, Sumail should have a good time there.
Obviously, on the side lanes, what we've got any sort of potent combos. Top lane, as the Grimstro, you know, Lycan early on is not necessarily going to be setting up any things well plays, but the courier indeed not helping micro too well. Quakefer, as it walks around the trees, gets taken out.
I thought it was a wolf.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he...
Like devotion, empty notion. Like a roaring motion, slow in motion.
Easily set up for that one. We're actually seeing OG looks like they're going to be the ones to try to make the first move to a gank. Notel about to hit level 2. He just needs to kill that small creep right there.
See if they can do it. They're in, but the S20 now. Catch the two of them. Quakefer's getting low, and with that tag team, it is enough to get the kill. Now Tiger comes in with a response, rolls in over to Notel. Seb starts to back off, pops the Sal. Already looking for a chance to maybe get back involved in this engagement. It's a 1-for-1. Of course, OG are going to be the happier ones. They're taking Quakefer out of the lane. Maybe even pushing for a bit more harassment. Seb's able to shove back Tiger with the cogs, and no follow-up catch or kill potential. So just the 1-for-1.
Seb, though, now of the X-Wall, it doesn't quite connect. Neither does the boulder.
And they still get him.
They've got the slow.
They get slowed by the stroke of fate. The Wolves are out. The Wolves, in fact, inside of the cogs. They'll get him. Quakefer quick there with the summon walls and make sure that Seb still goes down despite pushing back the heroes themselves with the cogs.
It looks it's just going to be, I mean, we're actually going to have a tri-lane, maybe? Tri-lane versus tri-lane for a little bit. Looks like Taiga is maybe going to make some moves around, but I think they both want to probably just duke it out, and that's what I love to see, you know? OG and Liquid, these two teams definitely like to fight a lot. Insania.
He's a little surrounded. He's not got much to save himself here with the tag team. Slowing him down, Insania will fall. This tri-lane of OG, incredibly scary. Liquid have to be careful with their positioning. Anyone that gets run down by a Tusk and a Clock at this point will die.
I feel like you have to get, you're a lane that you have to get kills because you're playing with this, like, you're a Clockwork and like a Shadow Demon. Your Clockwork, he's not going to get the most like farm in the lane, so I think you have to try to just set up for those constantly, as they will. Even though they have a double creep wave, they're looking to get aggressive on Quakefoot.
See what they can do here. Wait for a little bit of a rough target to get, but if you get a sharp block off like that, you'll have no trouble bringing him down. No tail. Excellent placement. Of course, whilst this all went on down bottom, Liquid were also able to make the aggressive play. Tiger and Boxy team up and take advantage of the fact that mid one has been left alone. Back up top, Sax actually getting slowed down here. Won't have enough to kill him off though, and another salve is popped, keeping him safe.
Very aggressive move by OG. As I was mentioning, that's a kill lane. Just keep going for those kills. They had a double or more creep wave coming into them. Now Seb has 3 range creeps. He's able to farm that one nicely. The supports are going to leave him. Give Seb all that XP. You see Saksa as well as No-Tail just like seeing later, setting up for the runes already.
On bottom lane, Koifa obviously deciding he doesn't want to have anything to do with that top lane. Moves down bottom, and as soon as he moves down here, he's going to be able to get himself involved in another kill onto mid one. Boxy and Tiger able to catch him there. Tiger finding a beautiful angle with the rock-bottom boulder.
Yeah, and I like this switch.
As soon as he's back to lane, he's not going to have a TP as well, so this is really going to slow down mid one's laning.
Yep. I like the switch up right here by Liquid. They're just send Koik for bottom because the Clockwork actually causes pressure. Boxy, he has no concern. Versus a Clockwork, he should never get picked off here. He should be able to play freely up here for the most part. So I do like the adjusting depending on the movements that have.
Now we'll see what OG's response is going to be. Mid one starting to make the move down the mid lane. Already this tower will be protection. Mickey popping the Elder Dragon form. The Tails may be looking for some sort of setup, but Tiger is here ready to respond if OG try and make a play between these two heroes. Mickey, I just warned, he's able to get the Dragon Tails. One and more on mid one. As soon as he's back in the game, this is 3 times in a row where Liquid have instantly been able to send him back to base. As mid one's game with those 3 deaths in a row, this early game is a disaster for him.
And you can see that Liquid, I was mentioning, they're planning. It's a lot of planning coming in, and the movement to bottom for Koikba, I feel like was excellent. And then this move, they're playing versus a Tower Blade. The panel also touched on how defending towers for OG is very difficult. They have to just straight up fight. They can't actually nuke it out. We see they're bringing Seth to try to slow it down as well, but he may have just walked into his death.
He tried to wrap around, but this was a wrap around onto 3 heroes. And Mickey still had the Dragon form going. That was a very ambitious attempt from Sep to try and set something up.
They just want to push him off the tower, is what right? Like, I think even if he died there, I think his idea is probably, tower's alive, right? Like, it's not a good death, but at least he gets them off that tower, and that's allowing Sumail to continue being able to do in the jungle and, make his movements freely.
Yeah, he really is making them freely. Top net worth at the moment, Sumail, as he's able to take up all the space whilst the action went on elsewhere, focused around that mid lane. See how Liquid want to play. I mean, if you are Liquid, are you ignoring Sumail and just playing for the towers, the objectives, and just playing in a manner that you feel like you can get this game done with before the Terrorblade is any sort of threat, or do you expect to see some more prioritization of trying to deal with the Terrorblade's free farm right now?
I think they'll do it. I think the towers are the first form. Like, you have to be able to get into the jungle freely, otherwise there's too many access points with all these towers. So I think with their lineup, getting the first 2 tier 1s can be pretty easy for them. With a DK and a Lycan, they can easily set up to split push those, and then they can look to get involved. I already saw them very early on getting those deep wards in, so they were looking to try to at least watch him.
Set. Let's try and get onto Mika. Okay, still got the stick charges, turns from the start, but the follow-up stun is there from mid one onto Mika. The dream core though is down to the 3 of the Mika. Still alive, gets underneath the tower. No-Tail trying to finish him off. No-Tail pulls the stick, he still cannot kill his DK. He's tanking the tower. No-Tail will fall alongside though. Over 4 deaths of everybody dying here on OG. As again, they are desperately trying to get a fight going while Sumail farms. Everybody their lives, they just not with 4 versus 5 at the moment.
I feel like this is going to be the story of the game for, maybe the entirety of it, because they just have such a quick, fast-paced lineup that's very strong in fighting. It's really Sumail's going to be running around trying to look for his farm, but now Sumail even getting gone on.
So able to close the gap with the ink swell. Sep is able to push in, and that will push them away. So OG able to, at least fortunately for them, respawn in time to get in and make sure that Sumail can back off with his life intact.
They're already pinging bottom now on Liquid. They see several heroes rotated toward top, so they're probably telling, but he can easily go to threaten this tower. He's approaching his book. He's got the Dominator finished. Mickey has Dragon form. He's actually going to be the one that runs down bottom too. So they have Boxy up top, who's the one, Boxy as well as Insania, that were positioned on top to be able to spam the wave out. And yeah, OG can't actually even touch it and push forward. But Liquid with just great movements all around this first 9 minutes.
Yeah, you can really sort of feel the direction with each of their movements. As OG very much sort of just struggling to make sure they do not lose too much here in the early game, and that Sumail can continue to have the space. But to get those first 2 items, you know, to a point at least where Sumail can be prepared to join the defense when it does inevitably get to the high ground hold quite early this game with the way that Liquid's going to be playing against OG.
I mean, this game is gonna go so fast though, right? Because you're playing versus DK and Lycan. You know the pace that Liquid's gonna set, and they're just gonna constantly be addressing and poking at your towers. You have to make sure that you're doing the same and getting something out of the map while they're doing all this. Sumail is trying to find a place to farm now, making his way toward bottom, and they did at least get top tower. But you can see Liquid, they're already preparing for the next steps. Taiga's getting deep wards down.
And kill Mickey. Mickey able to use the Dragon Tail to stop the snowball immediately now. It does come on after. There's the wraparound there from Quafer. He's ready to join this fight. In they go with the Orb Box. He's able to get the 2-man green card. Both of them locked down. Saxa being focused by Quafer. He pushes back the Shadow Demon to make sure there's no save. Already one down. Seth tries to jump in over towards Insania. Insania's got the ink swirls done. Sumail with the damage from the Metamorphosis though does manage to clean up 2 kills for OG. So OG will be able to find a fight where Sumail is able to excel. They join him by his side, and they do manage to get some kills for their Terrorblade.
Yeah, very nicely set up. They had to bring everybody in order to be able to respond versus Liquid. Liquid were also should they keeping that pace up, but do get punished a little bit there. Now there's gonna be no meta for 100 seconds or so, so I imagine Liquid is gonna keep trying to set that pace.
Sam, it was around for a little bit more. He does have the back of a mid one, but Tiger's quick with a few dodges the stun. And of course the follow-up nukes from Insania and the right clicks with Quafer take down Seb. So another failed attempt there, unfortunately, from Seb to try and get something going for his team. Quick roll back will separate Tiger from NoTel. Sumail also showing his face, feeling, you know, pretty strong. You know, at this point, 11 minutes in with the Yasha and the 3 Wraith Bands Tread. You know, he does hit very hard each time with the meta up. They do have to be careful, Liquid, how they push into the Terrorblade. Sumail already posing some threat in these fights.
Yeah, they're gonna need a little bit of an easier way to just get on top of them. I mean, they always will have their spirit, which is gonna be great. But the puck also is gonna be another good option, as Buxy is gonna be going back for the blink, but they should have good ways to slow down Sumail in the fight since he won't have PvP for a long time.
Really trying to force it here, roll right up towards the
Very far forward.
TP's come in, and Saxa, he realizes this is not a place to fight. He's already backing out of hit. I mean, we're really just seeing OG there. They're going for it. We're having NoTel and Seb just charging in every single time, and they are dying quite a few times because of it. But there's obviously some sort of thought behind these moves. You know, Sumail is getting space, so maybe there is some sort of cause to the chaos that OG is throwing at Liquid, which does seem to, at the moment, just sort of help Liquid in the way that they are now going to get these early items just that little bit quicker because they're getting these kills handed to them by OG.
Yeah, and they can go force a Roche at a very alarming pace with this Lycan who's approaching his book 3 very soon. OG will always have ways to keep tab because they do have clockwork, so they can always constantly throw rockets over there to see that positioning. But yeah, like you said, OG has just been kind of like throwing their bodies and just being like, all right, Sumail, good luck. You know, we're giving you the space. I mean,
this game is entirely on Sumail. Yeah, you can see sort of separation of the net worth. You know, it's got to the point where, yeah, the 3s and the 4s, they're just ready to be sort of fodder on the front here as they're going to run in and die. OG strat just relying entirely on Sumail's shoulders to carry them. In terms of money, he is certainly staying up there. Still top net worth. Manta style is pretty much complete. So Sumail will be a harder target to deal with. The silences at least still have an answer, a way to be able to stand his ground and remove the silence, get the thunder off if Liquid are able to get on top of him.
Just has to watch out for his mana a little bit. I think the book 3 is about to be finished up too, so that can cause problems. This book, you know, it hurts. It also burns a lot of your mana inside of those fights too. Looking to get aggressive. Up OG.
See if they can get away with it this time as Saxa. Trying for some sort of a setup, but Mickey's going to be quick with the response. Just pops his ult, turns, and you know, Saxa's sort of taking a page out of NoTel's and Seb's, but Zach can do it too, running in and die. I mean,
That looked like Boxy considered actually coiling Sep. They must have made a call not to, because he had Koikfa right next to him with the Centaur creep, but I think someone made the call to just hold the coil for the next few moments, because he was standing right on top of the clock. They probably could have gone for the kill.
Quite as you said, it's incredibly fast put through. They're eyeing up what their next objective wants to be. Mickey still with a bit of time left on the Dragon form. Koikfa hanging
scouting
out the pit, but the OG is going to be aware of this, and Seb does have hook shots, so a little hard for Liquid necessarily to go for that objective whilst OG have the Tiger rolling him deep. Koikfa's going to pop the ult. They're ready to try and fight here behind, close to this tier 2. Jump in with a blink dagger, they'll get on top of No Tail. The rest of OG staying safe behind the tier 2 tower, but with that quick move, Liquid will be able to pressure onto the third tier 1 tower, and obviously no chance of OG being able to defend these tier 1s. This one will go down as well. 15 minutes in.
They might keep going. Let's see what they consider doing. They're actually going to get the coil in the back.
I mean, the way the Liquid want to play, it doesn't matter what sort of kill, any sort of kill like that. OG, if their numbers are down, they cannot defend, right? You take away a support and suddenly the map is free for you to push in and just continue to play at this pace. Back in the river, he's found Insania, and Insania will go down. He does manage to get the soul bind off, but there's no follow-up. Koikfa able to kill off No Tail yet again with Tiger and Mickey's help.
They force the glyph on the tower, and then they back away after they force some reaction. OG get at least something for themselves, and Sumail is continuing to farm, but you are starting to see it. It's just him. It's going to be just him versus the world.
I mean, do you see a world where Sumail is going to be able to carry this as this TB? Because he really is hitting some fantastic levels of farm. You know, his sort of pace and opening to this game has not been knocked off course at all. He's getting everything from the map that he'd hoped for. The question is this hero enough to sit there on the high ground of OG and push back any attempts from Liquid to push in? Because they are able to stop a few pushes, this TB is going to get to the point later on in the game where Liquid's heroes aren't going to really be able to deal with him that way.
Sep top, Ink-Swelled Wolf right on top of him. Will get stunned up, but now the rest of OG is responding.
And bringing in TB as well, Sumail. Ready to fight, pops the metal, looks towards Tiger, but Tiger's already out with the roll and goes for the straight TP. Is there anything to cancel it? There is not. So to actually hit the heroes of Liquid, they're able to separate successfully from the TB.
That's painful, definitely. 140 seconds, they know it as well. Look, Tiger's even putting down the starries with the little flags. They know how aggressive they can play now. That is...
Takes into account the base damage, but as you say with the meta, you know, with TB, most of it is base damage.
Exactly.
So it is an insane amount of damage to... And it is going to need to be, if it's going to give OG a fighting chance. Sitting on the shoulders of this TB already around the pit. Liquid able to come out and take a fight. The Saxa and No Tail getting a little too close. Some ball-on-ball action here as Tiger follows the snowball with his own boulder. They'll get the 2 kills, and this Roche should be dead unless Seb can make some sort of miraculous play with the hook shot. But Mickey, he's already making sure that's not going to happen. Playing around with the clockwork, and Insania, Foxy, they'll join the forces to kill off Seb and make sure that he has no chance of succeeding in his dream to interrupt this Roche as Koikfa finishes it off. Liquid continuing to hit all the timings, all the objectives they need to get this 5-man lineup closer and closer towards OG's base and closing this game out.
You can literally just see how confident they are with the way that they're playing inside of the fights too. Like just having Koikfa hitting by himself, and now immediately they're setting up for top mid one. Wait, did he not hit him with the coil? It looked like he got it in time, right? But it didn't. I think he just didn't clip him on the edge of it up top there.
No, I didn't quite catch it actually. I was having elsewhere. What?
He was TPing out top
saw the animation,
Boxy.
or?
I think Boxy got the coil before the TP. I think he actually just whiffed it by a tiny little bit, but my ears could be wrong.
In terms of timing or positioning, was he slightly off the mark? Or?
I think he was off in his positioning of the coil, but the timing, I believe my ears heard that right. That whatever. either way, they miss out a kill on mid one. And they don't have coil now for a little bit, but we still are feeling Liquid very strong. Getting their lanes all in good positioning here at the moment too.
Just tying up these tier 2s. Mid-cap starting to bring in the push down bottom. I mean, as strong as they are, they can even push into multiple lanes right now. Quoif is able to pressure towers.
Oh, Saksa, he gets spotted.
And yeah, sort of the feed train continues for everyone on OG apart from Sumail. Just throwing bodies at Liquid, just trying to slow them down. You know, if they're killing me, they're not killing the base. That's sort of the strat that OG's heroes are playing by.
And now they're actually noticing that Sumail has bought the Eagle Song, so they're gonna know this is gonna be a Terrorblade who is now just completed the butterfly. I don't know if the Wolf saw it on time, but they can assume no buyback, no gold for BKB. You can really focus fire. Sumail pretty hard. Let's see what they do.
Straight away onto mid one, jumping onto the ledge. Lesh is able to pump the Yules to start out onto the two of them. No tail into the snowball. Silence onto Sumail, but Sumail already with the meta. He's hitting hard. He's able to take down the Lycan once. The Aegis pop. Can they do it a second time? Sumail falling low. He's ready to take Thunder. Quoif and get back up to full. The shards won't catch Quoif. As Quoif is able to get out now. Liquid, they can collapse him onto the heroes of OG. They're in on top of Sumail, and he may have taken the Aegis away from the Lycan, but Liquid, they hit back hard. They take him out, and the rest of OG, it's a team wipe. A buyback will come out from mid one, but of course mid one, his game, which has been heavily butchered, just 0-6 and 1 on the left, he has nothing to offer at all on his own. And that, I mean, that was your fight. That was the butterfly pickup, and it only got you an Aegis.
Perhaps if there was no Aegis, maybe it could be a different story, but Liquid prepared, right? They had that already done, and now they see the itemization too from Sumail, so they know that butterfly is done. And now with no meta, that was the fight pretty much that was the turnaround. If OG was able to turn this game around, I feel like that would have been it. Now they're 9k behind, their lanes are going to get pushed in even more so because of all this downtime. And yeah, it's just really a single core TV versus the world.
It really is Sumail versus the entirety of Liquid right now. So, drive with the hook shot, won't find Miket. Good with the quick sidestep.
Man, I actually also noticed something in the fight. I kind of forgot about this a little bit. I mean, it was changed a while. Howl is also really good in a way versus Terrorblade now, because sure, he gets your pro inputs, but then you get howled and you lose 40% of your damage reduction.
Damn.
You lose 40% of your damage, so that's actually a new thing that you kind of have to think about. Yeah, there's so much damage reduction that actually had on him. He was still hitting really hard, but yeah.
Well, you see, I've got to see his damage must go right down.
Yeah, right. Like I honestly forgot that Howl did a damage reduction for a little bit. So.
I mean, that's a scary amount of damage reduction for this TP. I mean, Sumail, as you say, sure, still with the meta, you're probably hurting a little bit, but I mean, without the meta, you're not going to have any damage. You know, that damage is going to be entirely gone. You're not going to, you're going to hit like nothing at all.
It's kind of cool because, like, you know, TBD versus like when we talked about the, you know, you getting your reflection of impulse, but now the Howl kind of maybe changes things a little bit. I still see picking TB versus Lycan though, so.
Against all top lane, Boxy. He's ready to bully mid one that little bit more. Jumps in with the silence. The Wolf is chasing him as poor old mid one. Also, of course, just playing the same strat that Seb, Saxtra, and No-Tail are this game. And, you know, there's some sort of logic to it, right? You know, that's the ult Quake for used outside of the base. Nowhere near a push, nowhere. Oh, Sumail, though. Oh, no, Sumail's taking a page out of that Pushka. But they can't let Sumail die. He's able to get the silence up, and Mickey is on top of him, moving in with the BKB. Seb hook shots onto the back lines, will be able to cog in both Tiger and Sadie. Tiger is out. Soul Bind there connected to the two double stun there from Mickey's Dragon Tail. Sumail in trouble. He's silenced. He tries to turn. Another silence stopping him from being able to sunder. He is dead and gone. Liquid just move in, slaughtering OG. Only Seb to survive, and maybe even not as Boxy. He's chasing him into the base. He is too tanky to finish off, so Boxy will let Seb live. But 32-7, 12k in, and with the lineup that Liquid have, it is very hard to see a way that OG can come back into this game at the moment. I mean, it already was looking to look pretty bad for them. But at this point, what can OG do to turn this? They put everything in onto Sumail, and we're seeing that Liquid, they don't have any trouble with dealing with Sumail. They can just kill him that easily. With only the Manta, it's not enough. Without a BKB, the silence is everything. They just kill this Terrorblade every fight.
Yeah, so much control, and they are still pretty tanky, right? It's like Lycan, he doesn't have the most armor right now. He's about to have AC finished, so he can get hurt. But the damage reduction, I mean, he wasn't even getting any hits really off in that one, but I actually saw it was minus 185 when he had his meta pop.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of minus damage.
Definitely quite a bit here. He can't hold his ground and attack people anyway because of all the disables, but...
No. And he can, I mean, the Manta is the one thing, you know, he can dispel those 2 debuffs, but, you know, there's only so much you can save your Manta for this game against Liquid's lineup. There's so many threats for Sumail that he has to be prepared for.
Yeah, he needs, so let's see, he's still going up for the Satanic. So I think he's still just gonna get stunned. He's gonna get locked down probably. But I mean, it's such a tough decision for him because even with BKB, it's like, can he actually kill them all during the BKB? It's just such a hard game because it's all just on. I don't know if any item would really.
That being on, I can only imagine because he is going for that Satanic other than sort of something like a BKB. Maybe he's thinking of the big things, right? Maybe it is going to be sort of Satanic Rapier. Then maybe we have a chance to take these fights. Because it's hard to see sort of any other way that Sumail's going to be able to do it on his own. Even though he does still sit there at the top, it's just the fact that the rest of OG are just so far behind him. Nobody else is able to really offer much at all to help this TB.
Yeah, and there's, as you've mentioned, a lot. There's a great amount of control on Liquid. It's a very well made up draft. Just stun, silences, disables across the board.
And there we have it, another tier 2 taken. Only one more for Liquid to work through outside of the base, and then they can start eyeing up the high ground push. 30 seconds until Roche potentially is back up, so we could see Liquid also just taking a little chill, you know, get the Aegis and Cheese we saw last time where, as you say, OG may have been able to have found an opportunity to get a good fight for Sumail when they kill off the Lycan. Quofa has the Aegis, and suddenly things don't go too great for OG once again in this game. So, you know, they wait for that Aegis and Cheese, and the chances of OG taking a fight against that are very, very slim, looking at the state of the game right now.
Don't think it'll get any easier. Because Spoxy now getting Daggons, and they're just getting more burst damage and more items to address, and just single target focus down. The only hero that they really need to focus down anymore on the side of OG.
Yep, Quofa has found himself a nice little treat down bottom. No tails out. No tail trying with the Dukes, but there's only so many Dukes a man can offer. Quofa quickly bites up his target. He's 11-2-13, and Quofa, I mean, Liquid as a whole, they have had an excellent series here against OG. Both games just looking incredibly tight with their performance, their drafts, their moves. Everything has a purpose from sort of Liquid's lineup and play today, and it's very, very nice to see. You know, Liquid, they have struggled sometimes with sort of getting stuck in their old ways, but today, and obviously yesterday when they had some great games, it really seems like they've found something that works very well for the squad in this patch.
I've liked, I talked about it mostly in like the last game because this one kind of picked up the pace really quickly, but Insania's warding and I guess like his shot calling all across this game has been phenomenal. Like the way that he's made the lane swap and collapse, because I'm assuming he's the one that's calling it, has just been spot on. And his wards too, always watching movements.
No, mid one. He's struggling. He's struggling. That's a tough game.
Tough game.
Mid lane.
Mickey though.
He's bringing down Mickey. Mickey's getting low. Mickey will fall. Sumail is able to find a core of Liquid. That's a big kill.
That's a big 60 seconds on him too. They're pinging Roche, and he has Satanic in the butterfly. All right.
Okay. Sumail, you know, he's not done yet. He's ready to win this game, Sumail. To the pit they go. Liquid are going to try and contest it. They are without the Dragon Knight though for 40 seconds, and there's no buyback. OG, they've been careful. With the Inkswell setup, that's going to catch 3 of them with that stun. Roll forward. Tiger, he's in on top of Sumail. Sumail, he'll turn. He's still got timing left on the meta. He's looking towards Tiger. The damage is being done there. Bringing that toast damage to Sumail. He sundered himself lower. That wasn't a sunder, that was a blunder. But it doesn't matter. He's got the Satanic done. The life steal. He heals him back up to 4 nonetheless. They'll move him with the corner and Sumail. Has he got any more defensive measures to use with no Manta, no Satanic, but maybe the passive lifesteal's enough. As long as he can keep hitting the target. Turns over towards Tiger. He's getting low. Finally gets finished off. He'll buy back. He wants to come back to this fight and join the rest of his team. Quofa's already been able to pick up a triple kill. Multiple buybacks coming out from both sides. Tiger and Boxy buying back on Liquid. Sumail and Seb Saxa buying back on OG. Roshan still stands. The true victor here, half HP. He's still alive for now.
the Satanic actually almost coming into play. He gets the Sunder, I believe, to save a teammate, and then he tries to Satanic and heal up. That was kind of cool the way he did that. Liquid now have their fighting force. DK has respawned. DK has Dragon Form in 20 seconds. Sending the Wolves in, and they get these Infist stuns.
Sumail, he's still full HP though. Mid one, not quite the same if you step for him. He's right. Boxy tried to change the high ground, but No-Tail's there waiting. Turns with the punch up. Boxy, he's committed deep for this. Sumail steps across. They take down Boxy. It's a dieback on the puck. Boxy gone for 90 seconds. A huge opening for OG to step back into the Roche pit and finish this Roshan off. Liquid, are they going to be able to intervene? Seb laying down Cogs, trying to block off ports of entry. As the BKB, the big old dragon, ready to start fighting here with the other Dragon Form back up. This fight's been on so long. He looks over towards Sumail. He needs help. Is he going to get it? Man's has already been used. He cannot get anything off. Does a dieback from Sumail. They turn over towards Seb. Seb falls also. As OG, they put everything into that fight, but at the end of the day, it did not matter. Liquid able to still come in, clean up Mickey with the Dragon Form. He's going to run straight down mid. There's 3 then on OG, none of them with buybacks available. Only mid one and No-Tail left to hold, and there's not much of a hold that these two can offer against the power of Liquid's heroes. Mickey jumping in, Dragon Tail stun onto No-Tail underneath the tier 4 towers. They'll kill him off. Mid one will survive. He's able to stun Mickey, but that's all he can offer. He's the only one left alive on OG. Liquid have all the space in the world to run down mid, take this tier 3, take the rats, and almost certainly more.
And you saw the strength of Mike really as he's just jumping forward with the X-Ball again. He should be able to just get mid one quite easy. He just jumps in everybody because he knows he's a DK, he has BKB. He just stands his ground there when it looked like it could be a slight concern for them in the fight, but no, with their 2 big cores, the Lycan as well as that DK, they were able to stand their ground. Even though Boxy was dead, they are very strong.
And we saw sort of in that last engagement, you know, sure, Sumail, he is there at the top, he's got a lot of money, but it really is just, you know, that fight just emphasized how it was, it's all him. There's nobody else on OG in this game that really has any sort of items to play with here at the 31-minute mark. And in that situation, if Sumail gets compromised in the fights, the fight is just over each and every time. Liquid able to take the 2 sets of racks. They'll chill out, the game will continue. But at a 20k lead, it's once again looking very hard for OG to swing this one around, such as was in game 1. Liquid back to the pit. OG, they are going to, of course, head over. They know that this last hurrah set. He's going to miss the hook shot, though. It blocks the pit. He won't be able to get himself in. Roshan is already down. They'll get themselves the Aegis and the cheese. Liquid they're trying to move in on this Sumail. He does have Metamorphosis available, but fighting into the Aegis and cheese outside of the base is not that appealing of a fight for OG. Their best hope now is this final attempt at a hold, but you're going to have to do it against the cheese held in place by Quoitfer and the Aegis on Mickey.
Yeah, and they're picking up more and more items to not only just become tankier, but also, like we were mentioning, just focus fire Sumail. Dagon continued to get upgrade on Foxy. I believe Taiga, I saw him get a Craggy coat, so he's crazy tanky now. And then I did see Insania. He's queued up the Ags. So, you know, that TP can be pretty strong. Make one of himself. If they want to take it to that point too, they look like they're, you know, they're taking all their boxes just in case this game does progress, just in case things go wrong. They're playing it safe.
Sumail's got to get that rapier. That's sort of the hurdle they have to climb. If he gets that rapier and Liquid messed up with a couple of high ground pushes, you've got to remember, there was a time, right, where this Liquid squad, they would get megas, they would lose the game. I'm sure they're starting to think about that a little bit. They're looking at this, if he gets a rapier, Sumail, yeah, Liquid, they may sort of be flashback to the past if they're not too careful with the way they go around ending this game, but
don't bring back those memories.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for error though with the lead that they have. It's going to take a fair few mistakes to sort of hand this game over towards Sumail and OG.
He switched to BKB, by the way. I was going to say, I feel like even with Rapier, there's too much control. Like there really is. We saw it coming into play. He's gonna get controlled in the fights.
I guess, but I mean, you know, you've got a snowball save, a disruption save. You know, just rely on your supports. They'll save you. They'll bail you out.
It sounds like the core mentality. Just rely on your supports.
Hey, you don't buy BKB. I've got a support. No, he's probably got a spell that will save my ass. You know. the logic. But now, say Samel, he's a professional player and he's a smart player, so this is obviously the smarter decision. I'm still hoping and imagining that after BKB, that final 6th slot will be reserved for a Rapier. But obviously adding that to his shopping list, it's going to take a bit of time to get there. We'll see how much time Liquid does give them. As Liquid is, you know, they haven't rushed to try and push and end the game with the Aegis and Cheese. They're certainly, you know, sort of making sure that just all 3 lanes are in a good position before they just actually barrel down.
They're trying to get Insanity the Axe. Like, they've been giving him all the farm. He's very close to it.
Soulbind's down. On to both Seb and Midbomb, rolling from time. These two of OG will not be getting home safely. As Midbomb's out, Seb will shortly follow.
And that's Insanity's Axe now finished.
All right. So as you say, Insania obviously being the shot caller, you think as the support, you got your Ags. Now you're sort of giving them the permission for the rest of the team to go end the game.
They were like just leaving him to kill creeps. So I imagine he's probably like, hey, I'm getting close to this item. Sure, we already are in a great spot, but this one, I mean, now you're gonna have a dark portrait of that PB who's already being kind of a beast, hitting back at his team. Oof.
He's cleaning up kills outside of the map. Taxes found. Liquid will start the move towards that final standing tier 2 tower that OG do have.
Did you bring up the win probability, by the way?
I didn't, but I imagine it's
0%.
Yes, I would imagine so. Now, this is where it gets exciting because we all, you know, we all look towards a 0% win probability. You know, we all like to see Gaben be proved wrong.
We did have one happen at TI, remember?
We did.
We had the 0% switch into a 3% or something, and we were like, wait a minute.
He fired all the 2 programmers involved in making the win probability element of the game after that. So, you know, whoever made it this game is watching, and they're saying, Samel, can you calm down? Because my job's on the line here, and if that 0% is proved wrong, another career will end. The push comes in from Liquid. They're up to the tier 3. They do have the repair kit as well. Not quite what it was back in the day, but it is something. Samel, indeed, as the true warrior he is, queuing up that rapier after the BK.
The portrait. Look at the dark portrait.
Always terrifying. No tail.
They can't do anything. Okay, no, that's totally.
Okay, but look at him. It's Saxa.
Saxa?
Watch out. Oh my goodness, he's dead.
You have to remember, it's the spell immune dark portrait. So that thing, when it's ink spelled and running at you, you kind of don't. You have to just run away. You can't actually do anything versus.
He's so fast.
It is. I love it.
Again, it's honestly, I'm seeing this. Yeah, every sort of second that OG is given. You know, Samel, he's in the zone right now. He's just focusing on getting this rapier. If he gets it, you know, that 0%, I don't know how 0 is looking at anymore. Maybe it's a 0.5%.
There's just so much. I mean, he still has a ways for it. He at least has a BKB to play around some of the disables now, but here we go.
Oh no, this ain't the plan for Samel. He's been caught out. The snow at the same time. The turn of the wood, flicking the double dagon, bringing Samel low. Samel pops the BKB and the Metamorphosis. He wants to commit for this fight. They've already lost their Shadow Demon and Mid-1 slash. Quaifa tries to take a bit of a poke onto Nota, but he is scared of the TB. Quaifa keeping his distance. They turn back. Mickey committing, finding the stun. Samel in trouble. Samel will fall. He's dead without buyback. Triple kill for Quaifa. Foxy finishing the game there almost certainly with that Dagon blast to the face of Mid-1. GG is called and the 0% is confirmed. 54-12, 33k lead to Liquid. It's another great win from them. These lads, they've stepped it up yesterday and today. You know, taking down a team such as Secret, taking down a team such as OG.